Welcome to the Real Estate Finder podcast. I'm Matthew Maschler, real estate broker here in the great state of Florida with the Signature Real Estate Companies. I run a group called Signature Real Estate Finder. There are other brands under the Signature umbrella, other brands of real estate brokerage firms, such as Signature Ultimate and Signature Paradise and Signature Scutina. All of them are absolutely fantastic, and I think of the brokers there as colleagues and not competition. But if you are a real estate agent or would like to become one and would like to join the Signature Real Estate Companies, please ask for me by name, Matthew Maschler, or Signature Real Estate Finder by name. Otherwise, you might end up at a different brokerage firm at the Signature Real Estate Companies. Most of the agents are at Signature International Real Estate or Signature International Premier Properties. They are all equal. They are all just as good. But the one difference is if you join Signature Real Estate Finder, you have me as your broker, in addition to Ben Schachter. Everybody has Ben Schachter as a broker. You have me as your broker. I am much, much more willing to promote my real estate agents before I promote other Signature real estate agents and promote your listings as if they are mine, because they are mine technically as the broker. All of the listings at my brokerage are mine. So if you would like me to treat your listings as if they are mine, that is one of the reasons to join me at Signature Real Estate Finder, part of the Signature Real Estate Companies, the best real estate brokerage in the state of Florida and perhaps the country and perhaps the planet Earth. With me today, Preston Smith. Hi, Preston. How are you?
I'm great. How about you, Matt?
I am doing good. How do you feel about the Signature Real Estate Companies?
Oh, I love it. It's the first company that I signed up with to work for real estate, and I haven't even considered going anywhere else. I love the family that I have there.
All right. So last night, Preston asked me a question. I said if it can wait, I would be happy to answer it today on the Real Estate Finder podcast. Check out our new Instagram page, two Instagram profiles dedicated to the podcasts because they were getting cluttered with other things I was doing at Real Estate Finder and Signature Real Estate. So shout out to Kelly and Justin for helping me set up the two new Instagram channels. So check us out, the Real Estate Finder, or I dropped the, thanks to Mark Zuckerberg. Who sings Suit and Tie? Justin Timberlake. I think was it Justin Timberlake in the movie?
Maybe.
You had to drop the. Maybe it was a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah.
Anyway, Real Estate Finder podcast. Find us on Instagram. We are going to relaunch our Instagram campaign at the Real Estate Finder podcast. Full episodes also available on YouTube now, in addition to Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcast, etc. So, Preston, go ahead. What is your question?
Yeah. So, price drops have become something that's very common lately, I feel. And especially a way to distinguish yourself in the market that we're in. I was curious, what are your thoughts on maximizing that price drop? Because I feel like there's things that you can leverage, but we haven't been used to that in a while, doing price drops. I mean,
price drops have been around as long as there have been prices.
Yeah.
Quite often when a property hasn't sold in a fair amount of time, the seller or the seller's agent will decide to lower the price. Perfectly reasonable. And I will tell you what separates a good agent from a bad agent when lowering the price. What you don't want to do, this is what not to do when you lower the price. Go into the multiple listing service, find the listing, click edit, and change the price to the new lower price. Hit submit and call it a day. You cannot simply just lower the price. If the house was $230,000 and it is now you want to lower it to $199,000, significant price drop, you don't want to just edit the price in the multiple listing service. You really have to take the same care, almost as much care as a brand new listing. One of the things I like to do to freshen up a listing is change the photos, even if it's just the order of the photos. Especially, very important, the first photo. If someone is scrolling, and there are people out there that are not in the real estate market. They're not in the market to buy a house, but they're on Zillow and Realtor.com or RealEstateFinder.com, and they're scrolling through houses in their neighborhoods or housing in their price range, and they see the main first photo and the address, and if they've seen it before, maybe they're just going to keep scrolling. If you simply lower the price without changing the photos, someone might just scroll, see the house. Oh, I've seen that house before. Keep scrolling, not even notice the price change. So before you do the price change, I want you to go into the MLS and edit the photos. Maybe add some photos. Maybe because certainly when you took the listing, maybe you had 40 photos from the photographer and you used 22. There might have been multiple shots of the family room or the backyard, and you didn't want to use them all. So switch one out for another. But very importantly, switch the main photo, just because that way it looks new. So go through the photos, change the order of the photos, add a few, delete a few, change the main primary photo. So when someone sees the house, it looks like a new, different house, not one that they've seen before, and they shouldn't just simply scroll by. You want to do that before the price change.
Yeah.
You want to go through your descriptions. Make sure your descriptions make sense. If you're the type of real estate agent that said, must see, this house won't last, and it's been 75 days, it's happened, right? So change it. Oh, back to the photos. When I used to live in New York, New Jersey, you'd want to make change the photos seasonally. If you took the listing in February and there was snow in the house, and now it's May and you're lowering the price, you don't want to show a house with snow on it. The house with snow on it shows that photo is old, right?
Yeah.
It's not as extreme here in Florida. You really can't tell the month or the season from looking at the photos, but that is another thing. And you could, even for the right listing, go as far as take new photos. So go through the listing, edit. I like to tell a story. When I'm describing a property, I like to tell a story. Even in the photos, I like to take a story, tell a story. I start at the front of the house and then the front door, then the foyer as you're coming into the house, into the formal living room, into the family room, into the kitchen. Then from the kitchen, any other rooms, then maybe you go upstairs and then you go to the backyard. My wife showed me a relative of hers listing out of state, and she showed me the pictures, and I see the front of the house 3 times. Then I see then all of a sudden I was in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who shows a house this way? Who goes to the front of the house and then walks into the back, looks at the backyard before they go into the house? You want to tell a story and show a path with the photos. Similarly, in the descriptions, you want to tell a story. You want to use words that make sense and use sentences. You don't want to just use garbage from ChatGPT because some of those puffy words don't make sense. And if you have too many of them in a row, you're not telling a story. So go into the descriptions, edit the description a little bit, change the first sentence or two. So that way, when someone is approaching that house, they're seeing it again for the first time. Even if they know they've seen it before with the new photos and the new price and the new description, they'll be vested. They'll be more intrigued to read it. Go through all the other descriptions, right? Then make sure all of your marketing is lined up. Any of the magazine articles that we write, make sure we change the price. When you've decided with the seller to lower the price, and then you send them the listing agreement modification form to lower the price, that's when you start with all of the magazines and print ads and everything and lower the price, because by the time they sign it and by the time you get everything up and running, you might have lost 3 or 4 days. Maybe a magazine or maybe a print, something else had gone to print. So you want to early on in the process, even before the agreement is signed, if you know it's getting signed, you want to get out there and start changing your marketing, right? You want to start. I like to use postcards into the community near the house. I do it geographically based on distance from the house, or if it's in a building, in the same building. So you want to start designing those postcards as well, and any email flyers, etc. Another thing to do before you lower the price on the MLS is go back to anyone who showed the property. If they had a buyer that expressed interest, even if they didn't. Hi, Stephen. I know you showed this listing 6 weeks ago. I'm not sure if your buyer has bought anything. If they have not, I want to let you know we're going to be lowering the price in the next few days. If you'd like to come see it again, or please tell your customer that we're lowering the price. Maybe they might have new interest, or maybe they just might want to see it again when it's at the new price. And you want to give anyone you showed that property to the heads up. You don't want them finding out because they do a safe search, or finding out on the computer. Why? Because you want to control the story. Yeah. Right? You want them to be drawn in. You need scarcity. If they find out when it's on the computer, when they find out with everyone else, they may or may not be moved to come see it again. But if they're your customer, or if their agent calls them and say, hey, listen, 123 Main Street, they're going to have a price reduction. Would you like to come in and see it? People feel good about having that inside information. Mm-hmm. You'll do right by the real estate agent that you're working with. Hey, how come you didn't tell me you were lowering the price? You'll do right by the other agent. You'll do right by the buyer, and that'll be the right thing to do for the seller, because you got some mileage out of it, and maybe this buyer may want to come and see it before the price is lowered, and other people will see it because they got that inside edge or that inside story. So reach out to anyone you showed the property to and let them know that you're lowering the price. And then once you do all of those things, then you go into the MLS and lower the price. And lowering the price triggers safe searches and notifications and hot sheets in the MLS, which is why you'd have wanted to do the photos, change the descriptions already. So when they enter the hot sheets, they're entering the hot sheets and the safe searches and the subscriptions with the new photo. If you do the price change first and then these other things that I'm talking about, it's too late. And I would wait a day, at least a day, so that, because even though the MLS updates every few minutes or every few hours, there are major updates that happen overnight. And you don't know what you triggered with the descriptions and the photos and the non-price related things in people's saved searches and subscriptions and hot sheets. So you don't know if you've already populated that or started to populate that, and you don't want to step on that. If that's going to give you any kind of blast or preference or focus, you want to actually let that happen the way the syndication works, and then you lower the price at least a day later, and then it's syndicated to all the different sites, hopefully with the new photos, etc. And then you continue your advertising. You can send an email company wide, or to the all of Signature, or to just to the team at Signature Real Estate Finder. I don't like to say the word team. There are very, very specific rules that the state of Florida has promulgated regarding real estate teams. Signature Real Estate Finder is a real estate brokerage. Every agent that works there is a real estate agent. We don't have any teams at Signature Real Estate Finder. Not that I'm against it. It's just that we don't right now. But teams have to conform to another set of guidelines and rules that I'll talk about on a different day on the podcast. So even though we just casually say the word team, it's not technically a team. We don't advertise as a team. Mm-hmm. But if you want to reach out to your team at Signature Real Estate Finder to let them know about the price change, I would also like to open that to follow that up with an open house. Even if nobody comes to the open house, an open house is a good way to get to market a property, because what happens is on Realtor.com and on Zillow, when the house is marked as an open house, they sometimes highlight the property. They might display that property before others. They might put it in bold. They might put it in a special highlight box. So you never know how much extra attention a property gets when it is highlighted as an open house. I wouldn't do it the same day as the open house. I wouldn't do it the same day when you're in the MLS, because I'd want that day in the MLS, just the price change. No other descriptions, no other photos, no open house, just the price change, because you want to let that promulgate, go through the different syndication systems, get out to Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, all the different websites, and let all of that happen, and then let it happen overnight, and then the next day do anything you want in the open house as far as the MLS or anything else goes.
Gotcha. I do have a question on the open house, though.
Please.
Like imagine you have a listing that has tenants in it,
mm-hmm.
and they're the ones that provide access for you, and they're never not there for showings. But wanting to have an open house, like if they're just adamant about staying there while someone else is there, like would you be for doing an open house with a tenant like staying there? like being present at the open house, or is that just
I don't
not
like
great?
when the owners are at the house in general.
Yeah,
And certainly I don't like when the tenants are there.
yeah. I'm saying.
But if the tenant wants to be there for the open house, I'd rather do the open house than not do the open house.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, if the tenant will allow the open house, I would say I would suggest doing it.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. No, it answers my question
Okay,
completely.
great. But thoughts about price change and marketing the price change?
I mean, I love that. That's all really good feedback, and it's what I think makes real estate fun. The part of just the details, and then continuing to build those relationships with people that you've previously shown, and trying to expand who you're making contact with. But yeah, no, it makes sense.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on the Real Estate Finder podcast. I'm Matthew Maschler, joined by Preston Smith. Preston, how do they get a hold of you if they'd like to?
Yeah, you can call me at 843-532-1941 or Preston at realestatefinder.com.
All right. And check us out on realestatefinder.com. Check out our other podcast, MatthewMania.com, and check us out on Instagram and other social media. If you see us on social media, please drop us a line. Let us know how we're doing. Really trying to get a good handle of social media in 2025.
It looks bright and the storms pass by. The sky's dark blue and it's almost that time. Light shows, cameras flash when I pass. Living in the moment, forget about the past. They save the best for last.